This has to happen for this to exist. Hey y'all, it's Morgan, and I'm gonna take you on a tour through my sketchbook to show you the progress I've made since March, drawing portraits and just learning how to draw in general and, build those skills. When I started this back in March, I didn't really know much about drawing portraits, and I'd never really had an art practice before, like ever. I was really sick for a couple years, but while I was sick, I had an epiphany that I wanted to do art with the energy that I did have. However, I was so sick that art was kind of a rare occurrence. But once I had treatment and recovered enough, I started doing art more often and building an art practice that works for me, which means it doesn't happen every day, but it happens a lot more than it used to. One of the main things that has kept me relatively consistent and coming back was lowering my expectations and not feeling bad when I missed days or when I made something that didn't really look great, because honestly some of this stuff was A+ chef's kiss work, mwah. But other stuff was more like A for effort, if you know what I mean. And that's okay, because the goal here is to show up, not to be perfect. Creativity ebbs and flows, and it's okay if your art practice does too. Sure, an everyday art practice might get faster results and work for some people, but it doesn't work for everyone. And in my humble opinion, an inconsistent art practice is better than none at all. Now let's switch over to Morgan talking about the sketchbook. And then I was kind of in a rut of what to do, so I drew these smaller faces and just kind of did some warm-ups of like shading and stuff. I realized that doing these little exercises helps a lot, and you'll see me incorporate these more in future sketches. And I gave her some, cute little ear piercings and stuff. Then I was still kind of in a doodling phase. This was just trying a different type of style and just messing around and trying to get something. I was trying to do something every day, like this is May 1st, May 2nd. I don't have a date on this, but I imagine this was like right before then. Then May 6th and May 8th were some other doodles. Doesn't look like I used references here. I was just kind of drawing some elfish figures. And you can see here that I've started using these little gradient warm-ups, and I do that for just about every single one from here on out. And this really just helps me like get used to holding the pencil again before I start and, getting in the zone. And this girl, oh my god, I was so happy with how this came out. This was the first time that I was like, oh dang, I can see my progress starting to happen. And also I switched to colored pencils. I think I use colored pencils from here on out. I realized I got bored with the graphite, and like, yeah, you can erase it easily, but like something about it was just boring. So here I start using colored pencil, and I think it just adds a lot more fun and personality and makes me want to keep doing it. So this is from May 11th. And then here's May 12th. Here's the warm-ups. She didn't come out as good, but I'm still seeing the progress. And here we got our gradient, and I'm trying to do both men and women, and I want to make sure I can draw everybody and like all the different types of features. And I like how he came out. Something about him is a little bit off to me maybe, but not bad. And then I think this one came out super cute. This was me just like having a go at it without a reference, just trying to apply the anatomy skills that I'd been learning on the planes of the face, and just drawing some sort of magical girl. I love, pointy ears. They make things way more fun. And here's another one without a reference, and this is me just having another go at him. And I think he came out super cute. He's maybe even, a little gender neutral, I don't know. He's cute. And this is May 16th, and if you can tell, this is Miley Cyrus, or at least an attempt of her, which, I think it is readable as Miley Cyrus. And then this is from Bridgerton. This is Kate. And I'm really happy with how this came out as well. Like, I'm really starting to see like a lot of progress at this point. And this is May 22nd. I was pretty consistent in May. And then this is supposed to be Miss Taylor Swift. Doesn't quite read as Taylor Swift to me. It's from her Speak Now album cover, her version. But I still think it came out really cute and did some different like shading. This is some hatching, and I feel like I'm starting to really get good at making the face and anatomy. And even though it didn't turn out like the reference exactly, it still looks like a pretty good girl. Ugh, and this one, I was so proud of this one. Just, I don't know, something about her and the boldness of the lines I was doing at this point. Like, they're much darker, they're expressive. And this is at the end of May, May 28th. But the thing about making something that I thought was fire is it kind of set me back in terms of my confidence and can I redo that? So I started doing a face and he just started coming out wonky. And so I decided to do bits of his face, but I did notice that I didn't do my usual gradient warm up. So I think that's kind of why he started to turn out wonky, but I don't know, his features still came out good. But felt like a little step back after my last one was so good. And then again, not feeling confident in my abilities. I did the warm up. I did this really awesome base layer. It's very light, I hope you can see it, but like the bone structure, the base, oh, looks so good. But I haven't touched it because I don't want to ruin it. Which I should get over and do, but like, I just can't bring myself to do it. And then here's another incomplete work. This is Ed Sheeran. I had just gone to an Ed Sheeran concert and he got more there than the other guys, but nowhere near done. So then I moved on to smaller faces. Here I've got Janelle Monáe. This is June 27th. I've got another from June 27th. This is Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. And I think they came out really cute. I think I was rebuilding my confidence with these smaller people. Then a couple cute girls. This is from June 30th and July 2nd. And so you can see I hadn't done things every day, but like I started in March and you know, still consistently doing it. And then a little Witcher and Yennefer action here from July 7th. I think they came out super cute and like very basic and the way that I shaded and very quick and very good like exercise people. Because some of them, like the bigger ones I do take longer on, like maybe multiple sittings, but these were just, I just sat down and did these. And then this is like a week later, but it ain't the same facial structure situation. However, you know, I wasn't really using a reference, but I was just trying to like doodle and do something because my brain doesn't always want to do the work of like looking at a reference because it's a lot to look back and forth and constantly measure and get it right, which is important to do and learn. But sometimes I just want to doodle and draw and, you know, practice lines and, you know, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what this was. It's important to make stuff like this. And like this. I was feeling very inspired after watching the new Barbie movie, and I was gonna try to draw Barbie, but I don't know what was happening here. There's a little one there. So I ended up, you know, just doing some more exercise things to try to get into it, and I doodled out these little gremlin looking dudes and some leaves, and you know, it was still a successful exercise. It just wasn't what I thought I was gonna do, which is fine. Creativity ebbs and flows. It's not the same every day. Sometimes art looks like this, and sometimes, you know, it looks like some of the ones that are more fire, but you gotta make these too. So this was July 25th. This is July 27th. I didn't say I was making more fire yet, but you know, the Barbie inspiration is there with the pink and the long hair and the sparkles, and you know, I was trying something different with the colors and, you know. Now we're getting back into, okay, things are starting to look back together again. This was still a little Barbie inspired. I find myself doing more art when I watch things that are inspiring visually, or even like in books that are very vivid. They just make me want to create. And of course, we have to have Ken with his Kenergy. A bit doodly, but I feel like I still got his facial expression spot on with the confidence. Also, at this point in my sketchbook, I'm doing things a little differently. I was actually back here, the way I was doing these other heads was doing the Loomis method, where you draw like a circle and then you fill things in based on that circle, which worked for me. But then when I kind of got out of practice and kind of got away from that, it was hard to get back to it. So I realized that I kind of like doing just like free-handing it and measuring as I go in reference to each other instead of trying to draw a circle. But now I'm kind of getting more into like just intuitively drawing what feels right instead of following a method that somebody else made up. But I had to get here first by like practicing the way other people do it to get a sense of what I wanted to do. But the important thing for me has been like practice one thing at a time. Like by doing these color pencil sketches, I'm satisfying my need for color, for interest, but I'm not focused on how the colors are mixing or what colors do, or I'm not thinking about color theory at all when I'm doing this. It's still just the sketch and the forms and the shapes and the shadows. Like that's the information that I'm trying to learn and gather for these before I move on to coloring like a full thing. But this little vampire girly came out cute, and this is from August 8th. This one I love. This is in the more freehand style, and this one was over multiple days. So I have August 13th through the 15th, and yeah, this feels like another level up. Then I've got this one, which is a character from True Blood. This is Jason Stackhouse, and it still feels like I'm leveling up here. I've incorporated some more exercises though, which is what this background is. So I have my usual ones, which I usually do a set of these for each day. So this took me like 4 days probably. But I practiced my line work by going over the lines that I already drew. So I went over them multiple times and then practiced more shading. But I'm really happy with how he came out. I think his hair's cute, the way the lines came out. This one is another one that I'm super proud of. Looks like it took me like 3 days. We went to a 5 Seconds of Summer concert, and this is the drummer from there, and he has this super contagious smile and dimples, and I just love the way he looks when he smiles. So I decided to draw that, and I love how this came out. And then just drawing a cute girly, you know. I was kind of following a reference, but she doesn't really look like the reference of the music person that I was doing, so I ain't gonna say. You can see in this new phase that I'm starting to draw more shoulders and clothes, and I don't know, I feel like there's just a lot more confidence overall in the way that this looks. And then there's another one that didn't turn out. It was another wonky day, so, you know, I decided to doodle and draw some thingies on him, and, you know, wasn't a wasted time. I practiced. And now my most recent, I love it. It is another character from True Blood. This is Jessica. This is from September 25th. And I think this one came out super good too, with the way the shading came out, and it was a bit of a different lighting, and yeah, I feel very good with how this turned out. And really, I felt good with how every single thing that I've made in here has turned out, because with each one I grew, I did something different, I learned something. I started in March and this is September, and I didn't do nearly every day, and sometimes there was like a week gap, but ultimately my inconsistent practice led me to this. And let's look at where we started again. We were all the way back here. Look at these pages. There's a lot of them. Yep, still going. Where's she at? This is where we started, and this is where we ended. And there's all of these pages in between that got me there. And really what got me to this point was lowering my expectations, because I needed to make art that looked like this. I needed to make this. This has to happen for this to exist. Let me know down in the comments which one of these sketches was your favorite, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see what's next on this art adventure for me. I'm currently learning something new that I'm excited to share with you guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon in the next video. Bye!